Hey, welcome to episode 74 of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Today's episode is brought to you by Mixmax. With Mixmax, you know exactly who opened your email and when. Schedule meetings in one email with the Google Calendar integration. Templates and sequences mean you can create the perfect email with one click, and other features include built-in automatic reminders and integrations with leading CRM providers. To save time and get more out of Gmail, head on over to mixmax.com. It's also brought to you by Tech Blog Builder. Tech Blog Builder is the blog writing service for IT businesses. We craft content that converts website visitors into customers with 100% unique, SEO-ready, professionally written blog posts delivered on a consistent schedule. Learn more at techblogbuilder.com. On today's show, we talk about why LinkedIn sucks with Vikram Rajan. We'll commiserate over our shared disdain for certain quirks in LinkedIn, and then talk about how you can flip the script and turn those headaches into benefits. Plus, Vikram will reveal the free tool that he's created to solve one of those headaches in a big way. Plus, Paco talks about what you can do to prevent the sting of client cancellations, and we introduce you to our new sponsor, Mixmax. All that and so much more coming up right now. All right. Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Computer Business Marketing Show. If you own or work in an IT services business, this is the place to learn how to get more clients, keep them happy, and grow your revenue. You can watch, download, and or subscribe to all show episodes at computerbusinessmarketing.com.
You can also catch our live stream on Facebook every Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Just be sure to like the Tech Site Builder Facebook page, click on the following tab, and select See First so that the live stream will jump on top of your feed.
And we finally got the live stream working again. Last week, we had some technical difficulties and it wouldn't work. Apparently, it's conflicting with a browser extension I have or something. So I'll have to figure that out. But using a different browser, it's working now. So we are live in Facebook now, and hopefully for the foreseeable future, we will be. Exactly. So definitely check us out on Facebook during the live show. We love to hear from you, and we love to interact with you on Facebook. So the topic of today's episode, it's titled LinkedIn Networking Sucks. And I think we can all kind of relate to that, where we've tried to use LinkedIn. We've heard it's a good place. We've talked about it on the show before. It's a good place to do some marketing and some client outreach and to build your business. But maybe some of us has tried it and it hasn't worked very well, or we've been frustrated with our experience with LinkedIn. You know, they change LinkedIn all the time. Things are changing. And it's hard to kind of wrap your mind around it. So our guest today is going to help us make LinkedIn suck a little less. He's got some tips and tricks and tools that we can use to make the most of LinkedIn, and he's going to dig into that. Before we get into that feature topic, though, as always, I want to introduce my esteemed co-host Paco LeBron and see what he's been up to. How you been, Paco?
Better than good, better than most. Things have been pretty good this month. We have a couple things going on. I've kind of mentioned a couple moves for clients, and we've been getting an uptick on cabling projects this past week and a half. I partnered with a good cabling guy that I have a relationship with, Comcast Business, and they provided this gentleman's information to me. So far, he's helped me out with 2 clients, and it's worked out really well. And, you know, it's one of those where you never know with the amount of jobs that are kind of going out there. And as we focus on niches, it's always great to develop partnerships and still make a little bit of money on the side on those partnerships. So, and not really having to do much of that labor that you don't want to do, but helping with the coordination. So it's worked out really well. I had one client that was plagued with Wi-Fi problems. We strung up a cable, put a new ruckus to join on their network. Haven't heard any issues from them since. We since wired a pretty big 4,000 square foot warehouse that normally I wouldn't have taken on, but this guy's been really good, and we really got it all set up. So it just speaks to those that, you know, if there's something you don't want to do, and I've talked about this a little bit before, you know, partnerships really help not only your business grow, but it also helps your reputation of your business grow too. So if they have a question, if they have a service that they're trying to look at and you're their go-to guy, you basically can be that go-to person and help them out, whether it's subcontracting or referral to that other company as a partnership. So it's been working out pretty well, and we'll kind of see how it kind of moves on moving forward.
Cool.
Another thing that I wanted to bring up is missed appointments, and something for those to consider is when you're scheduling appointments with your clients or new prospects, you definitely want to have a check-in policy, and you want to have and think about having deposits. A check-in policy is basically, you schedule the appointment with the client, and you want to have a policy where you let them know, hey, just for example, I went ahead and scheduled somebody for today at 11 a.m. And my check-in policy is, we got your information. We're going to create a ticket in our CRM system. We're going to send you an appointment email to let you know the confirmation of the details, which will also be a calendar invite. Now, my check-in policy is 24 hours before, or if they called the day before, a couple hours before the appointment, is to confirm we're still good for the time. Now, the reason why I do this is I don't charge deposits for potential customers or my current customers. I do this check-in policy so that way if they tell me they're not available, or if I can't get a hold of them and I let them know about this ahead of time, I'm not showing up to that appointment. I'm not going to waste the time, I'm not going to waste the effort, especially the resources to get to them. So perfect example is what happened today. I called the client. Client apparently wasn't in the morning and didn't tell anybody of the staff that I would be there. So had I went ahead and showed up, it would have been a wasted visit. And since I don't take deposits, it would have been wasted in resources that I could have applied somewhere else. But, that's also something to think about as well, where if you do take a deposit, this is a perfect example on why to let them know on cancellation fees, letting them know as to why you want to have that opportunity, is to let them know that the deposit is for this type of scenario. So something to take in consideration for those that are planning appointments. Develop a check-in policy, stick with it, and whether it's going to be that of checking in / taking deposits as well.
Yeah, I mean that's that can be a big deal if you're driving out to doing on-site work and you're spending the time to get out there, the gas money to get out there, and all of that stuff, and then they're not available. That can really hurt lots of aspects of your business. I'm wondering how do other service businesses handle that, like plumbers or whatever, people who come to your house to do stuff. I'm trying to think if
I don't know. I think you may. I mean, I've had plumbers where you got to pay when they're on site.
Yeah.
I'm wondering for those that don't collect payment information, if you call them again, there's a payment that's due on the account, so they won't service you until it's paid. And it's kind of interesting because what happened is I actually had 2 appointments, so I was actually running late to this appointment. So I was calling to let them know, A, are we good? And 2, I'm going to be about 10, 15 minutes late, and it worked out in my favor. And there was a lot of running around that I was doing that ended up working out in my favor for them calling off.
Right. Yep. So that's good. Hopefully that doesn't happen too often.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, definitely something to keep in mind and have a process around that. Cool. So let's see. I want to remind you guys about the Computer Business Marketing newsletter. So before we jump into the sponsor message and everything else, the Computer Business Marketing newsletter is your weekly digest of tips and tricks for how to market your IT services business. No fluff, just actionable items. You'll get a copy of or a link to this, the latest podcast episode, along with some curated news items, the latest posts from our Facebook group, and a tip of the week to help motivate you and give you new ideas on how to market your IT business. All of that for free every week by signing up to the Computer Business Marketing newsletter at computerbusinessmarketing.com. All right. Let's move on to our Tech Site Builder question of the week. Paco, do you have a question for me today?
Yep. For those of us that have or had multiple locations and are curious on having to add an additional location to the site, is there a way to do that in Tech Site Builder?
Yeah, so I mean, the way you do it in TechSite Builder is pretty much the way you do it on any website, and the way I recommend it. So, you have an established business, you have a website for that business, and then you're going to start a new location for that same business. So the name is the same. Sometimes even the phone number is the same. The only difference is the address is different. It's
Right.
maybe a different like place people can drop off equipment, or maybe you have some employees working over there. It's a different storefront or whatever. The benefits of that is you can increase your service area. You can increase the convenience of the location for people to visit your storefront, or even if you don't have a storefront, you increase the area that you can service, especially in Google's eyes. So the way you want to handle that is you don't want to create a new separate website for that new location. You want to keep it all under the same roof, all under the same brand. That way, the SEO work you're doing for the one main website will benefit your second location as well. That also tells Google when it's doing its algorithm magic in the back end that this is one company with two separate locations. If it sees a separate, totally different domain URL website, it might consider that a separate business, and then rank that less than your main one. If you have that second location on your main website, it'll rank that second location up with the same kind of SEO juice that your primary location has. The big key you want to do is, number one, create a separate landing page on your website for that new location. So maybe just a separate page that says, ABC Computer Repair in Anytown, USA, or in 123 Anytown, USA. That's the title of the page. That's for your new location in Anytown, USA, whereas before you were in Mayberry. So now you have Mayberry in Anytown, USA. Create a landing page for your Anytown, USA location. Put the address on that page. Talk about the new location. Talk about your services. Make the content unique so it's not copied and pasted from other areas on your website. And then the key piece is to create a new Google My Business location. So you go into your Google My Business account where you create your Google listing for your original business. Create a totally separate new listing for this new location. Give it the same business name, different address, whatever. And then it asks you for the website URL. Use that landing page URL. So it'll be yourwebsite.com/ whatever the page name is. That's your main website for that location. So that way Google will place you in the Google Maps and start ranking you, but it's going to use the SEO of your existing site. But if someone clicks through to your website from that Google listing, it's going to go to that location page, not your main website. So that's going to be a better experience for the visitors to your website. So those are kind of the two main things to do: new location page, new Google My Business listing, and then create some blog posts that you point links to that new location page to help kind of boost up the SEO of that page. And that's what we do in the service for TechSite Builder users. If you have a new location and you want to have all of that done for you by us, then let us know and we can take care of that.
So I got a follow-up question to that.
Sure.
So the location page, should it be a squeeze page or should it look like an actual home page, similar to like how you can customize in Page Builder in TechSite Builder? What's the best route on doing that?
Yeah, it should be basically another homepage type of situation. So it should feel like someone's landing on your location's website, but there's the navigation menu, and they can browse and do other things. They can see your other location is there. You don't want to separate or hide those locations from each other, because Google wants to see that they're both under this one business umbrella. They're both visible. You might even add in your navigation menu like a locations tab, and then have both locations in a drop down. So if someone wants to see what locations you have available, that's a great way to do it as well.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah, so that's a good place to be in, expanding your business, having new locations, and just want to make sure you do it the right way on your website. Okay, so we're almost to the interview portion, but before we do that, I'm excited to announce a new sponsor for the Computer Business Marketing Show, and that is Mixmax. Mixmax is a customer engagement and workflow automation application for small businesses. And what it does is it can help you get more out of Gmail. It specifically works with Gmail to help save you time. With Mixmax, you know exactly who opened your emails and when. You can schedule meetings in one email with a Google Calendar integration. They give you email templates and sequences so you can create the perfect email with one click. It has automatic reminders so nothing falls through the cracks. If you're using Salesforce or Pipedrive as your CRM, then you can use their Chrome extension to manage all of your CRM contacts directly in Gmail. That's pretty cool. And their rules and workflow automation can save you lots of time, increase your productivity by up to 10 times, and that's going to be key to helping you run your small business. So, Paco, you and I both use Mixmax, and we're both big fans of it. What is one of your favorite features of Mixmax?
I would have to say specifically is the visibility on who opened my emails. I know that when I started out being full-time in the business, I started utilizing this feature when reaching out to people, sending out contracts, estimates, things like that, and seeing those who have opened it, how many times they've opened it, and things like that. So quick case scenario is I did a campaign and emailed all of the West Loop businesses in my area because I moved offices back in June. And it was just a hello introduction email letting everybody know. And I was able to see in Mixmax how many, if any of them opened it, and if those who opened it multiple times. And those I knew who those that opened up the email multiple times were interested in some shape or form, which allowed me to tailor my follow-up email to them or a phone call to and know that they are receptive to what I have to offer.
Cool. Yeah, exactly. That's great to have that visibility into, if your email's being read, because sometimes, you never hear from a client and you see that they never even opened your email. So something's going on, or they didn't know to check it, or they've been busy. Other times you see they've looked at it a few times, but they haven't responded. That might mean that they're having second thoughts, or they might not like what you said or something. So that gives you more intelligence on how you want to follow up with them, and the actions you can take. So all of that is available in this the cool package of Mixmax. Like I said, both Paco and I use it. It works with Gmail, and it's pretty cool. So head over to mixmax.com for more information and to see why Mixmax will be a game changer for your business. All right. So now the moment of truth. We have with us today Vikram Rajan, who is the co-founder of PhoneBlogger.net and the creator of Inner Circles, which is a tool we're going to talk about here soon that's going to help you with your LinkedIn networking. And he's going to talk to us today about why LinkedIn networking sucks and what we can do about it. So welcome, Vikram. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Matt. Thanks, Paco. How you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. We're having fun talking marketing for IT businesses, and one of the kind of the dark horses, or the elephant in the room, or whatever you want to call it, of marketing for IT business owners is LinkedIn, because we know we need to use it. Especially, a lot of the people who listen to the show, are B2B or want to get into B2B, and they want to be able to provide business level, business grade IT services. And they know LinkedIn is the place where businesses hang out, but they've tried it and they haven't had much success with it. So I'd love to pick your brain on that. Before we do, though, why don't you just tell us quickly who you are, what your background is, and how you got to the point where you are now, where you're running Phone Blogger and picking apart LinkedIn.
Sure. Hey, everybody. So my partner and I started Phone Blogger out of necessity a couple of years ago. I would say like 7-8 years ago, because our clients get most of their business through word of mouth referrals. So they need to stay top of mind with their referral relationships, their clients, their past clients, prospective clients, influencers, other referral relationships, folks that they meet at conferences and networking groups. But they're so focused on their client work, which is a great thing, but unfortunately their marketing then falls by the wayside. And as the saying goes, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind, you're out of those referrals. So we wanted to solve that for our clients by interviewing them over the phone and turning what they say into optimized articles for their blogs, their LinkedIn, their email newsletters. So it's their words, their personality, their expertise, has any kind of professional disclaimers that they may need. And we make sure of all that. And with their approval, we can then optimize it on their side and optimize it for social and for search and for their email newsletters. And of course, only good things happen when that stuff goes out consistently. Our clients get invited to present on the topics. People out of the email list comes out of the woodwork looking to engage with them, literally engage their services, let alone engage their content. They share content, people inquire, people get forwarded the newsletter. So it's a lot of good stuff that happens for our clients. And so we help our clients with the posting of content on LinkedIn. But one aspect that we don't do is actively network on LinkedIn on behalf of our clients. That's sort of, it would have been like disingenuous to kind of fake our client behavior and, and comment and share on people that we don't really know the nature of the relationship. I think that would be just uncool. So we wanted to figure out how to make LinkedIn a little bit more efficient instead of just really a waste of time. And it's just, and we'll go into that, I'm sure. So we kind of created a quick free tool that anyone could really use, but we created it with our clients in mind.
Yeah. So let's start by kind of talking about some of the frustrations around LinkedIn. I know, personally, one of my biggest frustrations with using LinkedIn is it feels like you're being sold to a lot. And it's hard to tell if people want to connect with you, because they want to network with you or because they just want to pitch you their product really quick.
Right.
I'll get like direct messages and stuff from people trying to sell me stuff. And it starts to feel, a little like, kind of getting back to what you're saying, a little disingenuous, a little robotic. And so that's one of my frustrations. What have you found that have been some frustrations with using LinkedIn?
Yeah, well, we'll talk about that. So, that's InMail, LinkedIn's email system, and they've got something relatively new called sponsored InMail. And that's one of the ways LinkedIn makes money. So I think that's going to be here to stay. Because, if they weren't about making money before Microsoft bought them, they sure as heck are about making money now. And more power to them. We're all in business for ourselves, so we all have to make a buck, and LinkedIn makes a couple more bucks than we all do combined. And one of the ways they do that is through sponsored InMail. So it's sort of basically spam. But, if they could figure out the relevancy a little bit better, commercials and ads that are tailored to us can actually be really useful if done the right way. So they made it where LinkedIn InMail that's sponsored won't show up in your regular email inbox the way if someone regularly InMails you on LinkedIn, it shows up in your Outlook, Gmail, what have you. So that's kind of one aspect, one way they kind of filtered it so that it doesn't really annoy people, and that it automatically shows up in your inbox only when you log in. Just sort of like a benefit because they figure they could track engagement that way. On the flip side, you also don't pay for the InMail unless someone actually logs in. So that's on the flip side. From an advertising and marketing standpoint. And look, one man's junk mail is another man's direct response mail. So it's hard to kind of fault it, but it is kind of annoying if not done properly. And I think we should all kind of school each other of building that relationship first. And ultimately, yeah, sure, we have to pitch, but instead of having to be sold to, rather we should kind of pick up on other people's buying signals. And I think that's a great way of looking at relationship building, networking in general, and then specifically on LinkedIn. But one of the issues I find extremely frustrating and annoying is kind of the scrolling that I have to do on LinkedIn. When it comes to like Facebook or, even Twitter, the scroll is, kind of part of the game, and we're purposely there to distract ourselves. It's probably our second, if not third screen. We've got the TV on, we've got our laptop, and then we may be scrolling on the mobile. And it's kind of part of what we're doing. It's kind of like hanging out. You just kind of shoot in the crib, and that's enjoyable to some degree. On LinkedIn, we're usually there somewhat transactionally. We're there for some kind of productive reason. Which means it's not just in our background. We're there for a reason. So then when I had to tell my clients, hey, we can post content on your behalf, but the other half of it is do unto others as you would want them to do unto you. So you have to go there and engage with others, your VIP, your inner circle, your referral relationships. and just go onto LinkedIn home feed and start scrolling, and hopefully eventually you'll run into someone that you actually want to engage with. And sometimes I'd have them do that right in front of me just so they can kind of see and practice and see what's about. And they would look at me like I'm nuts. Like, this is what you want me to do? Like, who are all these people? I barely know them. I met them at one conference like 2 years ago. Oh yeah, this is a guy that I used to work with back in my old job, but I haven't spoken to him in 5 years. And it would be like, and then, all right, here's another sponsored post. So here's a commercial. Okay, let me keep scrolling. Oh, okay, finally, here's someone that I really like, but I don't really know if I really have anything to say to what he just posted. He's a nice guy. Yeah, I should probably do something to stay top of mind with him, but not this post. Okay, let's keep scrolling. And that became really stupid. And I didn't really have anything to say to my clients other than, well, keep scrolling. And I said, well, Twitter has Twitter lists. What if we could kind of create something like Twitter lists, but on LinkedIn so that I can categorize? And, I work with a lot of lawyers. So if I can just create a group of just the lawyers I know, or just my clients, or just media influencers that I know, that these are my first degree relationships, but these are the people that I really need to stay on top of, where if they post something, either it's going to be super interesting for me, or at the very least, I need to like, comment, or share it so that I'm getting in their good graces, and reciprocity and guilt and all that stuff. They will want to pay attention to me because I am legitimately paying attention to them and the golden rule and all that. And that's kind of what we created as inner circles to kind of focus on our VIP.
Yeah, that's great. That's definitely very needed. I know one of the kind of the ways I used to engage on LinkedIn is through the groups. I would join, some IT consulting groups, and there would be some good discussions, and you could jump in, and that's how you kind of built trust with people. And then eventually you can say, hey, by the way, I have these services or whatever. But for some reason, the groups kind of dried up recently.
Yeah, and more LinkedIn groups suck. Facebook groups are pretty cool. They're really engaging. I don't really know why LinkedIn groups are so awful. Well, I know why, but I don't know why. I'll tell you why. But they're trying to fix it actively. The jury's still out of whether or not they're going to be successful at essentially tempering human nature, tempering the nature of us as sales professionals. Even if we run our own business, we are in the sales process eventually, and at least we should be. I'm a big fan of being in the sales process. They've done well, but it ended up becoming a wasteland where my metaphor is like, imagine being in a room, you're sitting there and someone just runs in and throws a bunch of paper at you and then runs back out. And imagine like 20 people doing that to you like an hour. And they just run in, they're basically posting an article, and then they run out. It's like drive-by posting.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Everyone's just running in, throwing paper into a room, hoping it hits someone, and running out. But no one's actually sticking around to actually read other people's paper and comment. Right. And unless it's a discussion where it's a two-way street, then it's just a bunch of spam. And it becomes these, and then it became automated, and then you got companies like mine posting on behalf of clients. So it became like the situation where it's like, what is going on in these groups? And not every group, but a vast majority, where if that enough happens, it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like the vicious cycle where people just start retreating more and more, and essentially either doing the same thing, throwing people in the room and leaving, or just not entering the room in the first place because they're like, well, no one else is here actually having a discussion. Everyone's just spamming their blog post. And that's not cool for anyone. So, I always say to my clients, it's important to be a thought leader and to share your content and expertise, but it's kind of like an 80-20 rule. It's almost more important to actually engage with others. You don't actually have to post that often. If you keep, the more you're the more you're interested in others, the more you're interesting to others. And, I don't know how to change human nature. LinkedIn is trying with more moderation techniques, et cetera. And we'll see in coming months and coming weeks, even if it actually takes root, because Facebook's been able to, and maybe that's just the nature of Facebook being more social and more like-minded, where of course some people have different agenda of kind of pitch a product, but maybe it's just tempered out of peer pressure. And with LinkedIn, it's a bunch of hyenas in a room. And
you got a good point too, because specifically those that come into the feeds where people that are in your connection that are commenting on certain topics, and these can be different posts, they can be different ideas, articles, things of that nature. And then if it happens to be someone that you mentioned you followed for whatever reason, interest way back when, somebody in your industry, or even an industry or a niche that you are trying to target. It allows you to get a better insight of what's going on. And then two, it also allows you to engage with others, either the person that you know that commented on that person's post, or being able to get a fresh idea for content, as you had mentioned before, of creating onto LinkedIn and kind of re-engaging and cycling it back forth.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's a great point. So it's not, you get not only a positive effect from the people that you are actively liking, commenting, sharing, and I just say engaging because those are very long words. Not only do you get like the direct benefit from the person that you're engaging with, but exactly what you said, Paco, it's also their circle, because whenever you engage with someone's content, you're showing up on other people's home feed that you commented on their connections post. So it's a nice way of not only getting results from your own inner circle, but getting a result from their inner circle, which is essentially kind of what we always think of. It's like, yeah, I know the people already, but how can I get to like the strangers? How can I get to people, the who knows who, the second degree? And that's a great way of getting into that second degree by adding value instead of just trying to spam them, which is essentially what InMail's value is kind of, you can reach people outside your first degree. So, it's a great point. And, that's just kind of the nature of LinkedIn, that it was never meant to be a mass blasting platform. Their concept was always one relationship at a time. And, it's good to go back to that, because that's, where the action happens from the people we know.
Yeah, I feel like they tried to be too Facebook-like almost with the news feed and some of the other stuff they did. And they lost sight of what was really great about LinkedIn was a way to kind of connect, like you said, one-on-one or in a small group of people in the same industry in those groups. Also a place where you can see like share your professional goals and your professional resume and that kind of thing. And but I think if you kind of approach it from the mindset of like you said, participating and adding value and being a part of other people's stuff instead of just posting a bunch of your stuff and throwing it on the wall and wanting people to see it. I think that's a great approach and something I haven't been doing enough of myself.
Yeah, ultimately, whenever we use any of these platforms for free, we have to remember we're not actually the customer. We're part of the product.
Yeah.
So they're selling our data one way or another from any of these social media platforms, including anything free like TV to some extent, that we are the demographic data that they're essentially reselling. LinkedIn has to focus on the ways that they make money, as we all should be focused on the way we make money. So their target audience are going to be the recruiters, headhunters, job recruiters, et cetera, those who hire people because they're using it as a job posting board. And then, to some lesser degree, the actual people who are hunting for jobs, kind of like the ladies' night aspect. But then there's also sales professionals who use Sales Navigator, which is actually a really good tool. It's a little expensive, in my opinion, but I think provides a great amount of value. And, that's a way for LinkedIn to make money. And then LinkedIn makes money through ads, the basic text ads that we see, as well as sponsored InMail. So with that focus, thought leaders and networking is actually not their primary focus. So, we have to keep that in mind as we use LinkedIn.
So let's dig into the Inner Circles product. So this is a free, is it like a SaaS app or how does it work exactly?
It's actually a browser extension. So people can go to www.inner.oo, not .com, but inner.oo. You install it. It's right now for Chrome. Firefox should be coming out in a couple of weeks. I'm testing it right now. It works pretty much the same way as Chrome does. And it's really cool. You just log into LinkedIn as you normally would, and you just use Inner Circles kind of separately. So the easiest way is to copy and paste names into the Inner Circles interface, and it'll automatically create a circle. And basically, you can just see those 10, 20 people, and you just kind of open up the accordion and see the posts right there. It's actually really, really cool. You can use other function in Inner Circle. You can create a circle automatically based on search keywords. So you can type in the word like podcast host, and all the people who host podcasts will kind of come into one Inner Circle. Not 100%, because suppose someone says, I am not a host of a podcast, that obviously will come up too. You don't have to use that automated feature. You can actually go manually and drag people right into circles. But it's really easy. The easy I prefer is copy and paste, because we all have names of our referral relationships, names of our customers and clients somewhere, at the very least our billing software or some type of CRM or an Excel spreadsheet. Just copy and paste the names, first name, last name, and it'll kind of do the rest to find them in your first degree.
Right. That's such a great idea, because you're right. Like when I'm trying to engage with certain types of people on LinkedIn, it's impossible to find their posts. I don't even know if there's a way where I can just look at one person's posts.
So the workaround, if you don't use something simple and free like Inner Circles, you can go into someone's name, you go into their activity feed, which is kind of hidden. It used to be a little bit more obvious to find, and then that's how you can see all their posts. But you're absolutely right, Matt. So if you have like this really influential connection and she posted something last Wednesday, the likelihood of you ever seeing that in your home feed is like slim to none, because she's essentially buried at the bottom of the pile at this point and is just going deeper and deeper minute by minute. So unless you go kind of specific VIP name by name in their activity feed, you'll never see it. And now LinkedIn algorithm to some degree helps with just pure chronology, but it will by nature be at the bottom of the list regardless of algorithm. And they can never kind of figure out an algorithm of someone that you've never engaged with, someone that you just met, you never engaged with that person. Why would they assume that you actually want to see that person's post? So the only way really now, I don't have to worry about being on LinkedIn every single day because I'm going to miss something. My VIP are kind of in my segments, in my circles. And if she posted something last week, last month, I'll always see it. And then it's very easy for me to like, comment, share, introduce her to some people, etc. So I'm never afraid of missing a beat of my influencers.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm installing it now, so I'm gonna play around with it. Very cool. Great.
It literally just came out like 2 weeks ago, so there's still going to be some glitches. We could call it beta for my clients. I just call it kind of still in the improvement phase. But yeah, it's technically in beta. But try it out. Give me feedback. We're improving it week by week. So if you see any glitches, it'll be kind of fun to get your feedback.
Perfect. So, so I guess maybe taking it to the next step. So once we've been engaging with people that we share interests with, or that might be potential prospects or whatever. What is kind of the next step? When is it okay to reach out to them? What are your thoughts around kind of taking that relationship to the transactional phase versus just the interaction phase?
Oh, and that happens, I would say, one-on-one by email or in-mail. And then setting up a phone time, a FaceTime, if that makes sense, literally face-to-face if they're local enough. But, it doesn't take a lot. I think the beauty of LinkedIn is that everybody's there for that specific purpose of doing business with one another. If it's done with tact and respect, and you've kind of invested in that relationship and you've taken an interest, then you can do that relatively quickly. You don't have to wait weeks and months. What engaging with their post kind of shows that you are actually interested in what they're doing, and you should be legitimately interested in what they're doing. I think the more we're interested in what they're doing and where they're coming from and their needs and frustrations, it just makes the sales process a lot better, because we can all be consultative in that sense and refer other people during the sales process and take the pressure off of just pitching for your own sake. Because ultimately, if they have a need for what you do, it'll come obvious. Yeah. And, then you have to kind of figure out budget and kind of all those details. But that could be a very mature conversation. Like, look, either this is how much it costs legitimately. Let's kind of figure it out and make it work. And I like having those types of conversations with my prospective clients. I try to kind of remove that veneer of salesperson pitching as quickly as possible, because, no one likes to be pitched at. No one likes to be pressured. So, it's always golden rule ultimately, right? So, it doesn't take a lot. You can cold pitch very quickly, so long as you take the time to kind of get to know what that person's about and what they're looking to do. But you have to uncover it. It has to be consultative, or else you're just presumptive, and that's not cool.
Yeah, and I can see that working well for IT services or people listening. If you're interacting with people and you just you're interacting with the people in the niche that you want to go after. So maybe it's like lawyers, or maybe it's a specific type of service, and you're listening to their conversations, and maybe you chime in when they have an issue that you can help them with, or maybe they post something and you just make a comment that you liked what they post, and you give some thoughts about that, maybe technology related or something like that, and then you can jump in a private message and say, hey, I love that post that you posted. here are some additional thoughts. And that's kind of a way you can get that private conversation started with them to relate it back to something that you publicly commented on. And then they know who you are because they already saw you, out there on the public feed.
That's a great point. And of course, LinkedIn makes it really easy to name drop because we see our mutual connections. And
Right.
look, not all the mutual connections are that close, but if you do have a couple of people in common, that's a great, and even more so if you've done work with them or for them, that becomes even better. So it's very convenient to kind of legitimize yourself based upon mutual connections. And we do that all the time anyway. And,
Right.
We all call it name dropping or something like that, but it works because we want to know that, all right, you're in my circle and I'm in your circle, and it just makes sense. And ultimately, we want to do business with those that not only that we know them, but we like them, we trust them, that we want to kind of have some type of assurance that you're not going to be a schmuck, you're not going to rip me off. And look, if we travel in the same circles and the people I know, well, word gets around, either you're great or you're not so great. Either way, your reputation is very important nowadays. And,
Yep.
ultimately that's what personal branding and word of mouth referrals, all that is built on our reputation. And that's, who knows who and who's talking about you in a good way.
Yeah, and I can see that when I get contacted by someone who says, "Hey, I see you're friends with Paco, for example," or "Hey, Paco and I, worked on this project. Wondered if you're interested in something similar." That's going to grab my attention,
Right.
1,000 times more than someone coming out of the blue. So,
Exactly.
Are you still interested in the same field, or you want to join another industry? Please message me back. Plenty of those.
yeah. Yep. So cool. So I think that's going to wrap things up. Was there any other kind of tips or tricks that we didn't cover that you wanted to mention there, Vic?
People just connect with me on LinkedIn. Ask me any of your marketing questions. I like referring LinkedIn experts. I use LinkedIn a lot, but I don't do LinkedIn training in that traditional sense or LinkedIn experts. And I know lots of them. They're great. So I'd be happy to kind of hook you up with someone that can work with you one-on-one when it comes to LinkedIn marketing and LinkedIn networking and all that stuff. We came up with a solution that we knew our clients really needed. So I hope Inner Circles works out for anyone listening.
And we're tech guys, so we're gonna pound away at that that Chrome extension and
code or anything,
and let you know what's wrong with it.
Yeah, but please do. If you find any bugs or glitches, for real, we want to make it simple and fun to use. And it's meant for non-geeks, so I'm sure anyone listening and watching will have no problem with it.
Yeah, I've just been kind of playing around with it a little while we've been talking, and it's super easy to set up and get started, and it integrates right in there with LinkedIn. That's pretty cool. So far so good.
Cool, man.
All right, man. So appreciate you taking the time to be here today and sharing some of your tips to make LinkedIn suck a little bit less. and we thank you for providing a free tool that can help us kind of sift through the weeds of LinkedIn and make it a little bit more organized and a little bit more easy to use. So appreciate it.
Likewise, Matt. Thanks a lot, Paco.
All right, guys. So that's going to do it. Before we sign off, just wanted to mention our second sponsor for today, and that's Tech Blog Builder. Tech Blog Builder is the blog writing service for IT businesses. At Tech Blog Builder, we craft a content that converts website visitors into customers with 100% unique, SEO-ready, professionally written blog posts delivered on a consistent schedule. And we post it directly to your website. So it's very hands-off for you. You just let us know the topics you want us to write about. We'll make sure to match your business voice and your business personality. Talk about the services, talk about the areas that you service, and write some engaging posts for your business. As I mentioned earlier, we are working on some new features for Tech Blog Builder. We're going to be integrating some social media posting. And we're thinking about some other stuff like video that we can incorporate. So definitely some exciting things on the horizons for Tech Blog Builder. So get in now before the price starts increasing with all these new features. And you can check that out at techblogbuilder.com. So that's going to do it for this episode of the Computer Business Marketing Show. Head on over to Computer Business Marketing, and that's where all the show notes are, so you can see all the links we mentioned in these episodes. You can view the videos or listen to the audio of past episodes. And, we've had a few other episodes on LinkedIn, so you can kind of filter for just the posts on LinkedIn and have a nice, binge watch of all the different LinkedIn tips and tricks. And this fits in perfectly to all of those. Like the last one, we talked a lot about setting up your profile the right way. So once you do that, then you can listen to this one where we talk about, how to interact with people and network and use some different tools to do that. So they all fit in together and they all complement each other nicely. You can find all of that stuff at computerbusinessmarketing.com. Also, don't forget to join us in the Facebook group. Just search for Computer Business Marketing in Facebook or go to techsitebuilder.com/group. Request access to join the group by answering 2 easy questions, and we can't wait to see you there.
And if you listen to the podcast on iTunes or Stitcher, be sure to give us a shout out and leave a review. We love to hear your feedback, and every comment helps so that the podcast can be found by others.
Finally, don't forget to check out our sponsors, Mixmax and Tech Blog Builder at mixmax.com and techblogbuilder.com. Thanks for checking out the Computer Business Marketing Show. This is Matthew Rodella.
And this is Paco LeBron.
Saying here's to your success.